It's me Monday. As a painter, we need to start with drawing. And in my junior year of high school, I did that. I started taking drawing classes. I talked about the stack of art that's over here behind me. Part of it is just sketches of the paintings I would eventually paint. Maybe there was a photograph that might have inspired it, like the one of my self portrait, or I had several photographs I might have found from artists' work or photographs from magazines, or usually magazines, as models for what I wanted to include in my art. Last week, in my painting inspired by Magritte, I misspoke by saying Magritte's original self portrait with the apple in front of his face was red. It's not, it's green. The funny ways memory works. However, going off of that green apple motif, something that my drawing class in junior year of high school had us do was practice drawing lots of apples. Apples include different aspects to them that help a new artist practice different skills, whether it be the lines of the apple, which are curved, whether it be the shading of the apple, which has some different dimensions to it, as it's not a perfect sphere, and there's a little bit of overlapping nature at the top of an apple with where the stem comes out of, right? So even though my apple over here and my painting isn't the best of my apples, they got better. And let's show you how. So just as a reminder, this was the painting that I did last week. And then this is a sketch of an apple, if you can tell, capturing the shadow. There's no color in this because part of capturing an object is more about the highlights and the darks. As you can see, there's the building of the shadow underneath, the stacking of objects is still life. This is a wooden apple, if you didn't know. One of those tricks that artists and art teachers especially have. This specifically got a notable mention. So that drawing class, every time you're in a class in high school, every spring or so, there'd be an art show. And look at that, York High School, honorable mention. This is my work. Yep, see my handwriting in from high school. Goodness gracious. And so this got an honorable mention again. The shading, it was based off that sketch you saw earlier. That then you can see the different dimensions about the apple at the top. How there's like that parts that are a little bit lighter and then darker, all next to each other to give that rounded effect, right? With the shadows at the bottom to get those little arches of sorts at the bottom of an apple. And that led to another honorable mention, which I did with chalk, because when let's see what it is. When you go at this as an artist who draws, you got to try different media to kind of practice the same skills for different difficulty levels, right? To kind of progress. So even though I had a pretty flat green apple, this is green, but it's through chalk. You can tell the different depth, the way the shadow, the way the light was hitting, the way it was bouncing off different parts and maybe highlighted. I got an honorable mention. Okay, you can see for real. It's mine. It's my name. York High School. Anyway. And then this wasn't during high school, but Apple's, had a theme. And so when I got to university, I continued art. Now this is an actual painting, y'all, not a drawing. But I did not get an honorable mention for this, whatever the hell that means. In college, there are art shows, but I didn't submit any of my art during art show. This is an apple and a banana. Go funny, like the song from Barney or Sesame Street or whatever from the kid. I like to eat apples and bananas. Maybe you know that. Right. The apple, as you can see, is a little bit better than my previous ones. It's not green though. It's red. And this, I took a photo of it first. It was just a black and white photo, if you can imagine. But I know how color works. Anyway, I've seen a lot of apples in my life, obviously, so I can. There's the sheen. I don't have my name visible on this. I have to take it out of the frame, y'all. But anyway, this is professionally framed. This is hanging above my husband's and my bed. We're an apple and a banana, 2 fruits, y'all. Anyway, that was my inspired by Apple video. As I made the foible of saying Magritte painted a red apple in front of his face. I painted a red apple, not Magritte. Anyway, that was Me Monday, inspired by apples. Peace, blessings. I'm sticking to this script because it's crazy out there, y'all. Stay alive.